Tonight, the faithful at Baltimore's Cathedral of Mary Our Queen are singing in solidarity with Parisians who watch France's Notre Dame Cathedral go up in flames. Well, this is the sad moment the spire of the historic 12th century church fell. Meredith Wood has the latest about the investigation into what caused this devastating fire.
Parisians with heavy hearts singing a song of sorrow as they watch what many call the world's most iconic cathedral, Notre Dame, burn in a massive inferno.
Dying and rising of Jesus, that just as the cross didn't have the last word, neither for people of faith in France will this fire have the last word.
I'm Meredith Wood reporting.
Well, many of you are sharing your memories of the cathedral. Penny said she was just there a couple of weeks ago with her sister and friends. She said the iconic church was absolutely beautiful. Well, we'd like you to share your images and memories of Notre Dame. Go to foxbaltimore.com/chime-in to send us your photos and leave your thoughts. You can also upload your photos and videos through the Fox 45 News app. Click on Explore, then select Chime In. We have breaking news out of East Baltimore. That's where firefighters are working to put out a house fire near Greenmount Avenue and East 22nd Street. We don't have any information at this time about injuries or what caused the fire, but Fox 45 will have the latest information on this story as it develops and on Fox 45 Morning News. Also breaking, police are investigating a homicide that happened along Belvedere Avenue near Pimlico Racecourse. Officers heard gunfire and rushed to that area where they found a man shot in the upper body. He died at the hospital. Anyone with information is asked to call police. Violence in Baltimore streets as 10 days of peace ends with at least 12 people shot in the last 3 days.
4 of them were killed. The 4th victim was fatally shot this afternoon during a quadruple shooting in West Baltimore.
Well, tonight the search is on for the gunman responsible. Keith Daniels is live right now at police headquarters where detectives are busy working this case. Keith?
Well, Guy, the shootings come on the eve of the department's graduation of new officers, new recruits to help police in their fight against this gun violence. Well, anyone with information about this shooting can call Metro Crime Stoppers. That number is 1-866-7-LOCK-UP. Remember, you can remain anonymous and could be eligible for a cash reward. We're live now at City Police Headquarters. Keith Daniels, Fox 45 News.
All right, Keith, thank you. Another one of the victims is a 5-year-old girl accidentally shot in the arm yesterday while playing with her 6-year-old brother. Her great-grandmother says she is still in shock over this.
God was there to prevent it to be any worse than what it was. But it's still traumatic.
Well, she believes the brother was playing with a gun when it went off. The great-grandmother says she doesn't know where the gun came from.
Breaking news in the ethics scandal surrounding Mayor Catherine Pugh. Baltimore's business community is now pushing for her to step aside. The board of directors for the Greater Baltimore Committee said it's time for Pugh to tender her resignation.
A statement from the business group reads in part, after considerable discussion and thought, the board determined that Mayor Pugh no longer possesses the public trust or moral authority to lead the city. The committee's president and CEO also wrote, this was a difficult decision requiring a great deal of thought, but the GBC believes the mayor can no longer provide leadership and effective government that Baltimore needs and deserves at this time.
The announcement by the Greater Baltimore Committee is an especially tough blow for the mayor, who prides herself as a leader with strong ties to the business community. Now, here's what one business owner had to say about the mayor.
And she simply violated the trust, and I think, I'm so sorry, but I think she needs to resign.
Other business owners we spoke with today say, well, the scandal surrounding the mayor is embarrassing for Baltimore. They're hopeful that it will not hurt the city's economy.
We have team coverage tonight on the growing scandal surrounding the mayor.
And we begin with political reporter John Rydell on acting Mayor Jack Young's order to audit the Associated Black Charities over money it reportedly received to distribute Mayor Pugh's Healthy Holly books. John?
Well, acting Mayor Jack Young has been a longtime advocate for a special fund, especially for children and youth. In fact, he called for its creation back in 2016. Well, now he's requested an audit of the nonprofit that manages its operation.
Audit department, and we asked the law department to pull contracts so we can look at those contracts to make sure that they were competitively bidded.
Now, in response to the audit request, the Associated Black Charities has released a statement which says it will cooperate fully with all inquiries and investigations. At City Hall, John Rydell, Fox 45 News.
Acting Mayor Young, who sat in on a meeting of the Baltimore Metropolitan Council this morning, has taken a series of steps related to restoring trust in city government. Shortly after becoming acting mayor, Young called for the city law department to review contracts that the city made over the past 90 days. Young also placed 3 aides to Mayor Pugh on paid administrative leave. And last night, he announced the plans to audit the city's contract with Associated Black Charities.
Despite the growing calls for her to resign, Mayor Pugh says she plans to return to work. Liz Ortiz spoke with some people who believe it's time for city residents to consider a recall election.
Well, a recall election would put Mayor Catherine Pugh's fate in the hands of voters.
This is really egregious, and it sends the wrong message to everybody.
Now, Mayor Pugh does plan to return to work when her health permits. Still no timeline on when that can happen. In Baltimore, Liz Ortiz, Fox 45 News.
Well, and that brings us to our question of the day. Do you think it's time for city residents to start a recall effort against Mayor Pugh?
You can weigh in by going to foxbaltimore.com/vote. We'll update your votes later in our newscast. Meantime, Fox 45 is committed to investigating every aspect of this story, from the UMMS board to the mayor's office to the city council and the Maryland General Assembly. Stay with Fox 45 for continuing coverage of Mayor Pugh's growing ethics controversy. And remember, you can find past coverage on our website, foxbaltimore.com.
Breaking news out of Washington, a partial lockdown at the White House. It happened as a protester tried to set himself on fire. The unidentified man set fire to his jacket while on the North Lawn. Secret Service agents put out the flames. No word on the man's identity or condition. You can see him there on the stretcher, but we do know that the lockdown is now over.
Also breaking, bail is being revoked for the Baltimore man accused of murdering a man inside of a Fells Point bar days before Christmas. Police say Philip West shot and killed 32-year-old Rodney Beeman during an argument in December. West was out after a judge agreed to a $100,000 bond, but prosecutors filed a motion against the judge's decision. Today, West's bail was revoked.
An event that forever changed Baltimore happened 4 years ago today.
I've been recorded. What car they come out of, yo?
Baltimore police arrested Freddie Gray Sunday morning, April 12th, 2015. Officers put him in this police van, and by the time Gray's trip to the police station ended, he suffered a spinal injury that proved deadly. Gray's death led to the city unrest and a federal investigation of Baltimore police. The city has yet to see crime drop to the levels before Gray's arrest. And changes are on the way for the public housing project where Freddie Gray was arrested. The City Housing Authority is preparing to relocate 102 families from Gilmore Homes. That's because 6 buildings in that project will be demolished. The Housing Authority says they will demolish. The demolition will create a safer neighborhood for the remaining residents.
A new group of Baltimore City police officers will soon hit the streets. Right now, the department is preparing for this evening's graduation of the latest academy class. The officers are needed as the city deals with a crime surge and a shortage of patrol officers. Keith Daniels is live at police headquarters where the graduation ceremony will happen. Keith?
Well, Kai, that ceremony happening as we speak. The command staff just walked in. The recruits now lined up, preparing to go inside the auditorium. Now, according to police, as of the end of March, 50 new officers have been hired, but 48 officers left the department. Well, live now at City Police Headquarters, Keith Daniels, Fox 45 News.
It's official. Governor Larry Hogan's executive order mandating all school systems in Maryland start after Labor Day has been overturned. The House of Delegates has voted to override the governor's veto, and as a result, local school systems will once again decide when their school years begin and end.
When to start, when to close, when to have spring break, and when to have time for holidays and snow days. We've got to have that flexibility, and one size does not fit all in the state of Maryland.
Now, local school boards will get to decide whether or not they want to change their calendar for this fall's school year.
Lawmakers also successfully overrode Governor Hogan's veto on a bill increasing the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Here's how the minimum wage will gradually increase from $10.10 an hour to $15 an hour by 2025. Starting in January of next year, that's 2020, the minimum wage will increase to $11 an hour. Then it goes up 75 cents each year following until the minimum wage is $14 in 2024. Finally, the minimum wage reaches $15 in 2025. The law also gives companies with fewer than 15 employees more time to phase in the increase.
PayPal is closing 2 Hunt Valley offices and laying off nearly 400 workers. The reason for the closure? The virtual payment company sold its consumer credit services last year. The layoffs are expected to happen in June. The company will continue to hold on to its Timonium office.